Hey speech class, welcome to the inside of a 2014 Cadillac ATS. This is not my vehicle, but I did purchase it for my company. So I'm just going to be going over some useful tips that you guys can use and employ whenever you are going vehicle shopping. At some point in our lives, we're all going to go shopping for a new car or a used car. So this is just some useful stuff that you can do to make sure that you're getting a good deal. So the first thing is make sure you do your research on the vehicle itself. Get the VIN number from whoever you plan on purchasing it from, whether it's a dealership or a private party. You always need to get the VIN number so that you can do a Carfax report and an Experian auto check report. It's important to do both because not all information that goes on one necessarily goes on the other. And you want to get a full view of the vehicle's history before you go to look at it. That way you know what you're getting into. These reports will show you things like if it has ever been reported as not actual miles, if it's ever been reported as exempt miles, if it's ever been reported as rebuilt or salvage, flood damage, stolen, all of these things, stolen and returned or just flat out stolen. These are all things that you want to keep in mind because they will affect the vehicle's value, not only when you purchase it, but when you turn around to sell it. You know, if this is something that you didn't do to the vehicle, if you don't know it's got accident history and then you turn around and try to sell it to a dealership, they're going to let you know it has accident history. And then you're just, it's just a bad day. So that brings us to do your research on the dealership or whoever you plan on buying it from. If you're planning on buying from a dealership, research, their Google reviews, ask around, see if anybody's had good or bad experiences with them. If you're planning on buying from a private party, you need to, check that person's Facebook out. If you're buying off of Facebook Marketplace, if you're meeting somebody that you met on Craigslist, have them send you a picture of their ID, send them a picture of your ID, make sure you guys know who you're supposed to be meeting. And then also bring somebody with you. It's incredibly important, even if you're buying from a dealership, just as a strategy standpoint, because if you go in there and you're a united front against, this one salesperson, you have a little bit more of a fighting chance of, negotiating, if you will. So the next thing that you want to do after you've checked out the dealership and all that kind of stuff, we've got the VIN number, we've got the history, you want to actually look at the vehicle itself, right? So we're going to go into that. First things first, I use a OBD reader. Every vehicle is equipped with a area to plug one of these into, and if you don't have one or you don't feel comfortable in purchasing one, I encourage you to go and get in touch with a local mechanic, build a relationship with them, and ask them to take a look at the vehicle you plan on purchasing before you actually make an offer on it. Run it up to them on a test drive, but have somebody scan it, and that will tell you if it's had engine codes, if it's had any trouble. That computer system will talk to this and let you know what you're getting into as far as, what's going on with the vehicle as of right now. And you also want to check when was the last time these OBD codes were reset. Now, not all OBD readers like the one you get from AutoZone will be able to tell you that, but it will be able to tell you if you have some codes. These are just things to keep in mind. Again, if you don't feel comfortable in using this kind of equipment and trying to figure it out if you're not very tech savvy, it's important to get a relationship with a local mechanic that you trust that will take a look at this vehicle for you and do that scan. Beyond that, you want to look at the vehicle's interior. You want to make sure that you're going to be comfortable in the vehicle that you're going to be riding around in. And then you're also going to want to look at the exterior. So now we're going to get out in the cold. We're going to go check it out. There it is. Okay. So, I popped the hood for a reason, and we'll get into that. I'll also try not to slip on this ice. Now, first thing that I do when I look at a vehicle is I want to look at the complete exterior. So I want to do 4 laps around it. Not immediately. Each lap I'm going to be looking for something a little bit different. So the first time, you just want to look for major issues. The second time, you want to start to kind of get into the fine details. And the third time, you want to really go around and start talking about things like this with whoever you're buying it from. So that's a pretty major dent. That's something that would probably have to get that whole panel replaced, and you're going to want to make sure, especially if you're buying it from a dealership, if it has any kind of damage, not just large but also small, like these little nicks in here. If it's something like that on the body line, it's automatically more expensive for you to get taken care of once you drive it off their lot. So if you're planning on buying a new vehicle or a used vehicle, examine it carefully for all of that kind of cosmetic damage, and that will help you so that you don't notice something when you get home and then it's too late to take care of it. Now, again, I popped the hood for a reason. You want to get in here and look at all of the stuff in the engine bay. It's pretty easy to spot, even if you're not a mechanic. It's pretty easy to spot something that doesn't look right, something that looks out of place, a wiring job that's all messed up. This vehicle has no issues under the hood, but I have seen some horror stories that have come through, and you guys definitely don't want to be privy to one of those. So I'm gonna get back in the warm car now that we've done our outside investigation. Okay, whew. So we've looked at the car, we've done the research, we've researched the dealership, we're feeling pretty comfortable, we're feeling pretty confident in the car that we're gonna buy. Before you whip out the checkbook, before you show the cash, it's important to take some time. All right, so take about an hour, at least an hour, and really consider this vehicle. Think about it thoroughly. You know, does this meet all of your needs? Is it everything that you need in a vehicle? Not want, but need in a vehicle. And then beyond that, as far as the wants, you know, is it gonna stand up to scrutiny? Does it have a good warranty? If it's a private party sale, you know, these are a little bit different, but it's still, you know, if it's got issues, are they going to take care of it before you get it? If they're not, you know, you need to, again, have that relationship with your local mechanic so that things get taken care of when they need to. So, in conclusion, we've gone over looking into vehicle history reports, we've gone into researching the dealers themselves, we've gone into, you know, getting a relationship with your local mechanic, and we've also talked about how to use an OBD reader, what an OBD reader is. Hopefully you guys feel a little bit more comfortable in going out and purchasing a vehicle. It's also important to remember that Kelley Blue Book is not necessarily your friend. Kelley Blue Book is a good tool, but it is mainly a tool for dealers, so keep that in mind as well when you're going out and shopping and doing your research. Thank you guys for watching my video, and happy car shopping.